Welcome back to another episode of Red Hawk Media. Today we're taking a look at Final Cut Pro and some of the basics. Just to clarify which version we're working with right now, we're working with the 10.0.3 version here of Final Cut. And this is new for my students in particular. We just recently updated, so we want to go ahead and take a look at some of the basic features of getting in clips, cutting them, and moving them around a little bit. So to begin with, after I've opened Final Cut here, there are going to be two windows that we've got here. We've got our clip library slash everything that we import for the media, and then down below here we've got our actual workspace. Now, I've already imported some clips here just to show you quickly about that process. We're working on SD cards from our cameras. In order to import those clips, it's a little deceiving because the first time you plug in an SD card, you get some of the capture media stuff from iPhoto. And you're going to disregard that and come right to Final Cut first. And you're going to go to File, and then you're going to go into Import, and then Media. That's going to pop up another window here. And you can look at this in a couple different ways. You can look at it in a list of clips, or you can look at it in thumbnails, whichever you prefer if you want to identify them quickly. This might help you. But long story short, you're going to select some of the clips that you want. If you want to select a range of clips, you click on the first one, hold Shift, and then click on the last one. And now I've got a whole bunch of clips that I can actually work with. I go ahead and import the selected, and it's going to copy them automatically to my library, which is good because if I want to use them somewhere else or move them around, I've actually got a copy of the file. I can create a new library if I know I'm going to be working on a project. I can say, okay, well, this is my practice thing, so we're practicing camera angles right now in class. So I might set up something like that. I click Import, and now here's one of the things that we have to be careful of. Clips that are already imported, you can see have no little dial thing or loader thing down in the corner. These clips do, and they're not officially onto my system yet, so I can't pull the SD card yet until these are fully imported into what's going on here. I've seen a lot of times where people don't pay attention to this, and then it actually they end up taking the card out, and then they lose that clip, and then it's missing file the next time they open Final Cut. So make sure that it goes through the whole import process before you yank the SD card. Let's go back to the other clips here really quick that are already imported. And as you can see, once you import the clips, you can actually scrub over them and see exactly what's going on. So I can check these out. We've got looks like we got a basic zoom going on here. And then we've got a mid shot here. All right, we've got a full body shot. This is like epic hero pose here. We've got a cut in. Okay, so let's say we're working with the cut in. Now, I can click on the clip once and it'll select the whole thing, or what I can do is I can pinpoint a very specific area that I want of the clip. And then I just grab that and I drag it down into my workspace. And that saves me a lot of time with my editing if I do the kind of ins and outs up here beforehand. So now I can see the clip down here. Let's say there was still a little bit more that I wanted to cut off. I can't really see much of the clip right now the way it is. So I'm going to go down to the slider down in the bottom right side here. And I'm going to go ahead and magnify this out a little bit. Give me a little bit more room so I can see it frame by frame what's going on. Okay. So we've got that. Now let's say I don't really need this last part here where we completely lose track of the phone. So I'm going to put the playhead right about there, click, and then I'm going to hit B for blade. Okay, and that's going to bring this up. Now one thing you want to check before you go hog wild with the blade is up in the upper right hand corner of your timeline, you've got something called snapping. Now with it off, I can go along here and it doesn't do anything. It just scrolls along nice and smooth, and that's really handy sometimes when you're trying to make minute adjustments. But other times like this where I want to cut right on the playhead, snapping is actually pretty handy because once I get over here, boom, snaps right to it. And now I know I'm exactly on the playhead. So I go ahead and click on the clip, and it cuts it in half there. If I hit A, it will take me back over to my select tool, and now I can go ahead. Please don't forget it when you're on the blade tool because wherever you end up clicking along the timeline, it just starts cutting stuff up here. Now if you get all messed up like that and you forget about it, just hit Command Z and go back, and each one it'll take care of until you're all the way back to where you were originally. And again, that's A to get back to the select tool. So now I've got two different clips here. I know I'm getting rid of the last part, so I can click on that and hit delete. And now I've got my clip all trimmed down here to exactly what I want. Okay, one more thing that's a requirement for this particular project that you'll want to take a look at is we need some transitions. Now if you click on this is your transition icon here. And what you can do is go to all, and then it'll show you all the different transitions here. We're going to do a basic cross dissolve here. Actually, we're going to do a go to dissolves itself, and we're going to do a fade to color, which will give us a fade to black. Okay, now if I click on this, and then I take it and drag it right onto the clip here, okay, it's going to add it on. Okay, and we can see it's a nice gradual fade in. Okay, pretty slick. Okay, now if I want it on the other end of this, I believe I could just drag it onto the other side, drop that in there, and we've got two fades that are already set up exactly the same time. Now if you got short clips here and you need a little bit more to work with the clip and you don't want the fade to be so long, you can adjust the fade just by going to this and dragging it over. Okay? So you can shorten it up as much as you want. Sometimes quicker fades keep the pacing moving so that you can do a quick fade out and a quick fade in, kind of like a movie trailer. Let's go ahead and go back though and make these all even. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my next clip here. We've got, looks like an over-the-shoulder shot. Oh, maybe this is the overhead. Well, this is the over-the-shoulder shot here. There we go. All right, so we got the over-the-shoulder shot. One more thing I want to show you. I go ahead and click on that clip, and I'm going to bring it down into my timeline here. Okay, and now you can see how it automatically fades out, and then it starts to fade back in now that I've got that, that fade to color in there. So that's kind of handy. Right, now this one is not exactly sized the way that I would want it. So if I want to mess around with the sizing of this, we filmed everything in 1920 by 1080. If I want to make a quick adjustment on that, I keep my playhead over the clip here so I can see what I'm doing. And then this doesn't automatically show up the first time you start a project. It kind of looks like this. Okay, so if I go over to these sliders here with my clip selected, I go to these sliders, click on that, and it's going to bring up a whole bunch of different options that I've got here. We've got a video tab, which is what it's going to start on by default. In the video tab, I can do a lot of different things with cropping and transforming. Transforming is the one that I'm most interested in. I can go ahead and grab the scale, and I can scale this up. Okay, for a true over-the-shoulder shot, I want to get rid of a little bit more of this nonsense on the side here, and I want to focus more in on her. Okay, and to see this exactly, I put it down to 25% so we can see what's going on here. Now I've got a little extra clip that's actually in here, and I can move it around now. So if I want, I can click on the transform button over here too, which will allow me to see the wireframe of where the picture actually is. So here's all the stuff that we got rid of, and I can size this over to where I want. Remember, thirds here. We're going to work with thirds. So this isn't the best framed in shot here because we want him in here, but we also want her in there. So maybe we put her all the way over on this side because maybe she's facing more to her right. Okay, and that creates a little bit of expectancy here, and her eyes go on the upper third. Okay, we get the idea. Now we can go ahead and click done here, and that clip is all set up. So we got our fade out of this clip, fade into this clip, and there we have it. Okay, now I think we got a little extra on this clip, so let's go ahead and hit B, cut it down, A, go back to my select tool, delete this out of here, and I'm ready to keep going with this process. Remember, the quality of the clips and camera angles is what we're demonstrating here. A fade in, a fade out. Go ahead, feel free to drop some music in here as well. The music works exactly like an iMovie. Nice feature is over here we've got the music note, and that will bring up your iTunes here. So if we want to go with the epic dramatic trailer, we can go ahead and click on that, and then we could drag it right into our workspace here. And then you see it shows up on its own track just like an iMovie. Except we can put a lot more tracks of music in Final Cut, and we've got a lot more flexibility. So I can grab the fader here, fade it in. You can take the volume levels, adjust it there, and then we've got all that. And don't forget the blade tool will work on audio as well. So if I get the playhead right to the end here, get my blade tool, line it up on the audio, boom. Got that cut. Hit A to get back over to my select tool. Delete that out of here. Let's create a gradual fade out, and voila, we've got a project. All right, ladies and gents, it's been lovely. Thanks for joining us again for another Red Hawk Media episode here. Bye.